Imagine the scene. A company celebrates record profits in its income statement. Investors applaud, the press publishes positive headlines, and everything looks like a success. But just a few months later, that same company declares bankruptcy. This is not an isolated case. It has happened to giants in corporate history, and it can happen to any business, from a startup to a multinational. The question is, how can a company that is making money go bankrupt? The answer lies in a simple but powerful concept: cash flow. A company does not go bankrupt because of losses on paper. It goes bankrupt when it runs out of liquidity. Cash is the oxygen of the business. Without it, no matter what the financial reports say, the company cannot survive. Here is the fundamental difference. The income statement shows revenues and profits, but it does not necessarily reflect whether the money has actually entered the company. The cash flow statement, on the other hand, shows the real movement of cash, what comes in and what goes out. A company may record millions in sales on credit, but if customers pay within 90 days while expenses are immediate, the business faces a liquidity gap. It may be profitable on paper, yet unable to pay salaries or suppliers. That is why understanding cash flow is one of the pillars of financial management. It is what differentiates a manager who only looks at profits from an executive who ensures the survival of the business. Cases like Web-Van, the online supermarket of the early 2000s, illustrate this truth. They had growing sales and a promising model. However, their cash was burning due to oversized investments and misaligned payments. The result: bankruptcy in less than 3 years. Cash flow matters because it is the immediate indicator of financial health. Profitability can wait, liquidity cannot. A company can survive temporary losses, but none can survive without the cash to operate. In an MBA program, the first lesson is to distinguish between profits and cash. To understand that profit is an accounting opinion, but cash is an undeniable fact. And in business, facts always win. Now let's move to the methodological framework. Cash flow is organized into 3 major activities: operating, investing, and financing. Operations are your sales and daily expenses. Investment includes the purchase of assets. Financing reflects debt and capital. Reading the cash flow statement means understanding which part of your cash is generated from real business operations and which part depends on external financing. If positive cash flow comes only from debt, the company is not sustainable. The central tool for an executive is the cash flow forecast. It is not just about knowing how much money you have today, but about anticipating month by month the future inflows and outflows. A good cash flow forecast projects at least 12 months ahead, with 3 scenarios: optimistic, realistic, and pessimistic. This makes it possible to identify when you might run out of liquidity and what decisions to make before it is too late. The forecast is useful because it turns uncertainty into planning. It does not eliminate risks, but it gives you time to anticipate actions, renegotiating payments, adjusting expenses, or seeking financing calmly. The discipline of carrying out monthly cash flow reviews turns leaders into proactive rather than reactive managers. It allows them to see the financial storm coming before it strikes. Now let's think about a practical exercise you can implement. Take your current business, or a hypothetical one, and build a simple cash flow projection for the next 6 months. Create 3 columns: expected revenues, committed expenses, and net cash balance. You don't need complex software, an ordinary spreadsheet is enough. Then add an alternative scenario where revenues are delayed by 30 days. You will clearly see how a seemingly healthy business can fall into a liquidity crisis. This exercise not only teaches the difference between profits and cash, but also creates the habit of thinking like a CFO, always with a radar on immediate liquidity. In conclusion, cash flow is the lifeline of any company. Remember the maxim: profitability can wait, liquidity cannot. The income statement may create illusions, but cash flow always reveals the truth. And in business, truth is paid in cash.